Is Steve Sarkisian looking to leave the University of Texas and head to the NFL? Well, not if you believe his agents at CAA. And what is a first for me, and I think a first in college football in this new era of name, image, and likeness, revenue sharing, and coaching salaries continuing to go up. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on Step Mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you believe that Steve Sarkisian's agents are protesting too much? Don't protest too much. By coming out very early and just hours before Texas is set to take on Mississippi State to deny any interest in leaving the University of Texas to become a head coach in the NFL. You'll know that we're getting to that part of the NFL season where people be getting fired. And the Tennessee Titans is one of them teams. And they got a quarterback in Cam Ward that they thought they would have a little bit more time to develop. And it turns out, nah, dog, you ain't get that kind of time to develop that dude because they're impatient too. And it's a constant rebuild at the NFL in a way that nobody's been good at Tennessee for quite some time. You really got to take it back to Steve McNair for the last time that they had a for real deal, good, great quarterback and a pretty damn good head coach. Now, we can keep talking about that part of it in an NFL segment as this is a college football show. I thought it was more interesting to talk about this from the Steve Sarkisian point of view. So his agents, he's represented by Jimmy Sexton, who is the agent that most of the names you know are represented by. Jimmy Sexton has really cornered the market in the way that, we're talking about Scott Boras in Major League Baseball. It's really just him. And if you're talking about moving guys around, you're really talking about moving Jimmy Sexton's guys around. And this is a man who came into the forefront in a huge way with Nick Saban as a client. And when Ole Miss and Georgia played, he was on the sidelines for that game a week ago, just to show you just how deep those things go. Now, the statement they put out at CAA is any reports regarding communications on coaching opportunities with NFL teams are patently false and wildly inaccurate. Sark is solely focused on coaching the University of Texas football team. It's not that that's untrue. In fact, I believe it is true. It's that they took these links to make the statement. And I think this is more about the culture that we're in with reporting on the coaching carousel. Two things are moving the needle in sports media right now. Coaching carousel, people get in trouble for gambling. And that's about it in as far as the shoulder content around the sports. Even as we're focused on the games, we got some really great games. Oklahoma versus Ole Miss, Missouri versus Vanderbilt, Texas A&M versus LSU. Even Michigan State, I can make some arrangement for that being pretty damn good. And this is a week when Ohio State doesn't play. Georgia's idle. Notre Dame is idle. Still got some pretty good games. USC is idle. And yet and still, this is at the top of the front because people believe somehow that college football coaches really want to coach in the NFL. And while I believe that that's true for some, like say Joe Brady, who was the passing game coordinator at LSU before he became the offense coordinator for the Bills, I don't think that's true for most. I think many people have learned from the mistake that Nick Saban made in that, hey, man, just because you're a great coach doesn't mean you be a great coach in the NFL. It is where he wanted to be. We know this because he was a defense coordinator for the Browns when Bill Belichick was there and became head coach of Michigan State, parlayed that into being the head coach at LSU, turned that into a national championship team, left that to be head coach for the Miami Dolphins, then found out that he doesn't have the kind of advantage at Miami that he would at a place like Alabama or LSU because the game is just a little bit different. It's rigged differently. It's rigged so that all 32 teams get something out of the deal. You're the worst team, you get the best pick. You're the best team, you get the worst pick. Whereas in college football, you can sign as many 5 stars as you can stand up until a point, right? There's only so many. We only talk about 30 each year. But if you can get 20 of those 30 each and every year, you can fill out your roster, which will be capped at 105 here after some players graduate out, and we'll figure out walk-ons a little bit later on. But as Texas is deep in it, and they are very much in a win-or-go-home scenario for the rest of the season with 2 losses, I thought it was curious that this need to come out because I always thought the Sark had a Yankees job. Not always thought. I know he's got a Yankees job. I know the University of Texas is one of the best coaching jobs in sports, period. That I mean that in concert with being the manager for the Los Angeles Dodgers because Dave Roberts happen to luck into the greatest baseball player who has ever friggin' lived, or the Dallas Cowboys, which is always going to have its own star on it or spotlight on it, whether you want it or not. Yankees, Manchester United, you could keep going, right? Barcelona, even playing alongside Lionel Messi and MLS, which is probably the only time that people watch MLS to begin with, or being the team principal at Ferrari, or I keep going. You see what I mean? I think the University of Texas ranks there, just like Ohio State, just like Alabama, kind of, sort of, but we'll see how far that goes. I could keep, I mean, again, I could keep going. I would, a little myth that you need to put this out. And I realize that coaches don't like their names being brought up for jobs they don't want. I also think that we're in a space where most coaches are looking to get a raise now if they had a good season, because the coaching carousel is turning over so quickly and because so many jobs are becoming not just open, but we had a mostly quiet coaching carousel last year in anticipation of this year, where revenue sharing doesn't know what it's going to do to your budget. And now you're getting to see people getting on it quick, like Florida fired Billy Napier. Virginia Tech's got an interim head coach. I mean, Dabo Swinney's got his back against the wall, but he ain't been fired. Deshaun Foster got fired at UCLA after what was a fireable start to the season, if we're being honest about this. And then it got turned around with an interim and Tim Skipper. Like Oklahoma State fired Mike Gundy, paid him $15 million to go home. James Franklin gets fired at Penn State, paid him $49 million to go home. And we're not anywhere near seeing the end of this. But I thought I wanted to take this moment just to point out that this is kind of new. This is significant in that Sark has really been in his feelings about what has been reported about him and the football team that he coaches. And I'm going, yo, dog, you expect to be treated like a regular football team, and you're never going to be treated like a regular football team. People are going to report on the University of Texas football like they report on the Dallas Cowboys. My whole careers are made off of being a beat writer on that particular team. I mean, I could point to Max Olson getting to cover that team at ESPN. I could point to Chip Brown, who's at Orange 247. I could point to Kurt Bowles. I could point to Cedric Golden. Like, there's a whole bunch of people that if you get to that beat, it's a premier beat. And one of the reasons there's a premier beat is people are always going to read about it. And when people are reading your work, it works the same way it does in coaching. You get better job offers for the work that you're performing in a big old spotlight, and your name and your byline begin to carry. I think all of that is affecting Sark because somehow he expects us to treat him like his high school football down there, and we're not. We're going to treat you like professional football down there because that's what it is. Whether or not you can get there is up to you, but needing to put out the statement, I wouldn't have taken it that far.